pronounces. I don't know the lyrics to this weird John Denver song. It's just a real weird one. I don't know the lyrics to this song, so I'll just make up some lyrics. 'Cause it's Monday. Sipping on some coffee, and I'm drinking a little bit of coffee today. Oh, fart noises from my mouth. What's up, Internet? What's going on? It's a Monday. Monday. Hot, fresh, coming at you on a Monday. Who was first to the chat today? Frank Dominguez, quickly followed by Jackson Kobliarks. Jackson K. Hey, man. Mad props to Jackson. He's got his avatar on YouTube is sorted out. It's he and I in his avatar. Hey, does that get you extra points in my book? Hell yeah, that gets extra points in my book. If you got your avatar and it's a picture of you and I on YouTube, it gets you extra points as far as I'm concerned. But what do the extra points mean? I'm not sure. Bentley was here, but he had to go. Rocky's Rocky, Huge Face, Gerson, Sopoloco, E55. Huge Fish Face is here. Fish Tank Barn, Jeffrey Myers, Alyssa Bentley, Dan Squires, Will's Aquarium, Jason R., Creedmoor Aquatics, Alyssa Bentley. I think I already said that. I already said Jason R., Chad Kratz, Scroll, Daryl Deemer, Ed Start. Baby's is sleeping, is what he says. Oh, somebody has a question about GH booster or something. Just a little witch plants. What's going on here? We got an early chat question going on. Let me scroll back and let me see if I can find it. It's from Devin Pepper. Says, hey, question for everyone. So my guppies are breeding and looking happy, but some fish look like they have fin rot, like the back fin is withering away. What is this and how to treat it? Ooh, 9 times out of 10, that has something to do with the minerals for the guppies. I think that's pretty common in my neck of the woods because our water out here is just like, man, it's almost like RODI water here. There just ain't nothing in it. So you do want to add some mineral supplements for, a guppy tank, if that's the case. That's what just popped into my head right when I read that question. That was the thing that I would maybe point a finger at and check out and see what's going on, because that I've seen that happen with the guppies around here in tanks that don't have any kind of mineral supplements going into them. The ones that I use typically would be like GH booster, KH booster, that kind of stuff, or a little bit of crushed coral. Crushed coral works pretty well. That you'd be able to put in I almost said nylon. That's not right. Like pantyhose. Like pantyhose with the crushed coral. Or you could do something like get some of that Wonder Shell. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Wonder Shell before. I swear I made a video about it, but maybe I didn't. I think I made a live stream about Wonder Shell. What? How's that? Come on now. Wonder. How about that? There. Oh, there's just space. Let me get a link for you. These things are super cheap. Like $4.99 for the big giant one. I put like one of these in. So I put like one of these in the 240 and one of these in the 150. Like once every couple of months. Nothing super crazy or anything like that, and it just helps add a little bit of that action that I'm looking for, which is some of the it's just looking for like minerals. That's all I want is just some minerals that are safe to put in, and that's the reason that I occasionally throw in a Wonder Shell. And like I said, I don't have to go crazy nuts with it or anything like that, but I'll drop one of those in. Once every a little while. Devin says, so should I add some rocks that leach minerals, I wouldn't be counting on rocks to do it for you, mainly because, it's difficult to figure out the size of rocks and stuff like that you're adding in. It becomes very, it becomes a little bit confusing, like you could add a 10-pound rock in there and it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it could be releasing a whole bunch of weird stuff. That's why I kind of just go with that. That's why I just go with that Wonder Shell. I just drop it in there, and it'll dissolve pretty quickly. In my water, it dissolves super fast, so that's normally a good sign that there ain't much in the water. But I also add catappa leaves, the almond tree leaves, stuff like that, birch tree cones, things like that. I add a lot of that stuff to my water just to kind of, I want to keep the pH down, but I want to have minerals and tannins and stuff like that in my water so that it's available for my snails to breed properly, my shrimp to breed properly, so it aids in that. And I like the Wonder Shell because it's old school. It's been around a super long time. I don't know when it started, but the packaging still looks like it's from 1972, so it's just something that's been around forever, and it's just kind of a go-to for me, especially if I have guppies in the tank. And as you guys know, I do have my one singular guppy, which I'm sure someday I'll get a male for her and let her breed like crazy, but I don't know when that day is going to come. I need to find the right male. I've got the right female. I need to find the right male guppy. But that would be commonly the big thing with guppies, is that there's just not enough minerals in the water for them. It's just they're just one of those fish that need it, and they'll have a tendency to fall apart in our water here. Like if you're not adding anything, if you're not amending the water up at all, guppies will just have a really hard time in my water here. And you could ask Corey, you could ask Bob, you could ask Bentley, you could ask anybody that lives up in our Washington water here. It's kind of funny because it's easy to take care of and breed guppies and all that kind of stuff, but our water is not ready for them. You know what I mean? So let's see, Annie's song. I won a competition singing that. Oh, nice. I like that. Big D Smoke is just leaving emissions testing. Get out of there. Get out of the emissions testing as quickly as you can. What a nightmare. Oh, quickly followed by a storm ripped some shingles off the roof last night. As you guys know, Western Washington, we had this big old windstorm. A lot of people had their power out and stuff like that. Olivia's with our sitter right now, and she had mentioned that they hadn't had power for like 24 hours, which our power never went out here. Knock on wood. Right. Our power didn't go out this time. Computers are fine. Everything survived. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal altogether. But Billy just showed up, said, "Oh boy, new shrimps, my dude. Been a while since I could make the stream. Well, thanks for coming out. Like button, subscribe button, all that, share button, whatever. That stuff, I guess, is important. I don't know. For whatever reason, it just has become like a thing now that, like, if you watch a show or something like that on YouTube, it's like you're going to hear somebody say subscribe. You're going to hear somebody say like button. You're going to hear somebody say, that's sad. I don't know. Maybe they should come up with some new buttons. They should come up with some new buttons so we could say something else. Hit the mediocre button, right? They should make a button that's not like or dislike. They should make a button that is, where you're just like, I'm sort of satisfied by your terrible sandwich offering. You know what I mean? Like, I ate the whole sandwich. I wasn't happy, but now I'm full. So, okay. I think we need that. I think we should petition YouTube to get a meh button. Like, meh. All right. I watched your video guy. That'd be fun. Maybe I guess that's what Facebook is for. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I started posting some videos up onto Facebook. So maybe if you don't want to watch them on YouTube, you could watch them on Facebook. And I think there's a meh button on Facebook. Like, there's a button where you're just like, you make this face, like, okay. Dakota Davies, here I am, all late and stuff. Nah, no worries about that. No worries about being late. You know, you just show up when you show up. That's just how it works, man. It's just rock and roll. We just kind of do what we do around here. Ooh, Gillett has a great idea. He says even a slide, like a slide from bad to good, where you could be like, you could give them out 42%. You could be like, I was 42% happy with that video. Or you'd be like, I was 68% entertained. Or a what the button. A what the button would be pretty good. Like, what the hell was that? That would be good. I like that. That's pretty. That would be funny. Ryan Riley's asking, cost-effective substrate for a 75-gallon Planet tank. Any suggestions? I think realistically, if I was going with a 75, I would probably just get 2 of the Fluval Stratum bags. Last time I looked them up, it was only like $70. Let me see. Fluval Stratum. Let's see. Let's take a little hike down the Amazonian lane. Yep, $71.99. Boosh, copy, boo, paste, pow, boom, hit enter. You know, one of the big reasons I recommend Fluval Stratum to people is like it's super easy to order it. You know, you can go onto Amazon. There's a lot more volume. So, like, if you were going to get Eco Complete, you'd probably need like 4 bags, right? And 4 bags would be like $80. So, I feel like the Stratum's even cheaper. Like, it's more expensive per bag, but you get a lot more per bag. I did a video on that a while ago. I did the volume comparison of the substrates, which I find to be more valuable information. Like how much is it? How much is it? Not just the weight, and you get quite a bit more. So it would be like $80 if you did Eco Complete. Fluorite is $22.50 right now, so it would be like almost $90 for 4 bags. Let's see. I don't know that company. Oh, Mr. Aqua. I don't really recommend the Mr. Aqua substrate. Active Flora comes in a 20-pounder. I don't think I've ever opened that bag personally, but that one's $25.96. So maybe if you got 3 of those, but that's still $75. You know what I mean? That's still. Oh my gosh, somebody's calling. Oh lordy, it's my mother. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. Well, I'll put you on speaker. You're on the show, Mom.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to you later then.
Oh, you talk to me later? You don't have a question for the fans?
No, but I have a question for the baby.
Ah, okay. Well, I'll talk to you later, Mom.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye. That was my mother calling during the show. I would say that I don't think my mom. I'm stealing this from John Mulaney because I put on the John Mulaney stand-up special where he's talking about, he's like, my mother has no idea what my career is. My mother does not understand my career. Apparently, my mom's not even a subscriber. She doesn't even know when the show is on. So, we got that going for us. But that was my mom. Sounds like she's doing okay for right now. I'll call her back later. Jeffrey Myers, whoops, I'm back. 'Twas planting pennywort and crypt lutea in my guppy farming project. So many guppies you can walk across the surface. Ooh, not bad. A little crypt lutea. I like crypt lutea. It's growing pretty good in the back of my 150 right now, I'd have to say. It's not doing that great in the 240. It keeps getting shaded out too aggressively where it's planted in the 240, and that's because I had to move it. I moved it all the way to the back because I was like, get out of my way. I put some pretty rare crypts in there, and they're doing good. So I'm pretty excited for those. This is all good. Let's see. Jessica says, that's what I'm getting for the other tanks is fluval substrate. I saw your video because I did the fluorite one. Oh, cool. Yeah. Wait, who was asking about the substrate? Let me go back and double check here. Where did it go? Oh, Lordy, I've lost it. Where did it go? Well, I lost wherever the question went, so sorry. Maybe that was the follow-up. Oh, Ryan was asking cost-effective substrate for a 75. Okay, and sounds like Jessica is gonna do some fluval stratum. I don't know. I just find the fluval stratum to be the most, like, the cost-effective. You know, I know there's a lot of people out there that have gotten upset because the buffering sort of drops off over time, which I'm not that upset of its buffering dropping off, because that's what I would expect from anything, is that, like, whatever affect or effect a thing is doing, like, would eventually wind down, right? Like, it would, I drink a cup of coffee, right? I get some caffeine, then I gotta pee later, right? But the caffeine, like, wears off. It has a half-life. So all substrates pretty much have a half-life. If you're looking for something that's going to last forever, good luck. The best thing you could find if you wanted it to maintain for a really, really long time would be like laterite, but that has faults too, as prescribed by my 240. It's just had so many years of use and stuff like that. It's just kind of packed. It's kind of to the point where I need to just kind of take it out and put it in the regular garden and just swap that whole tank out. But as you guys know, we have a new baby. We have a lot going on, and I haven't had time to contact any companies and see if they want to sponsor doing it or not, like redoing the tank. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens. I don't know. If somebody wants to do that, if some company wants to do it, we'll give it a shot. I don't mind doing the work. I don't mind swapping it out. But if it comes down to, footing the bill right now, I think, maybe I'll wait and just keep growing plants in there for a little while, because it's not like it's a total disaster. Oh, this coffee's delicious. You guys seen my new mug? I got this for Christmas. That's the Sriracha hot chili sauce mug. Commonly referred to the reference of the rooster here on the front. It's typically what that sauce is referenced to. But I put Sriracha on almost everything I eat. I have been tempted to put Sriracha on ice cream before. I didn't do it, but I thought about it. I was like, man, it might be weird on this vanilla ice cream, and I didn't do it because I don't know, man. I feel like if I'd done something like that and I liked it, I don't know if there'd be any going back. Like, oh man, chocolate sauce is so blasé. I want to put spicy sauce on my ice cream, and then I'd just be like a crazy person for the rest of my life. And I want to kind of tone it down a little bit so that by the time I get to being 70, it'll at least make a little bit of sense how crazy I am, right? Like, we don't want it to be completely over the top. We don't want to be completely over the top 70 years old, like this guy's totally nuts. Okay, we got a super chat from Gerald Wallace. This $5 super chat says, switching from hang-on-backs to Hamburg Matten filters. Worried about losing the cycle. My idea is just to put the biomedia from the hang-on-backs behind the Matten. Thoughts? Here's what I would do. If I was going to be swapping filters from the hang-on-backs to the Matten filters, just going over to that kind of, if you guys don't know what a Matten filter is, it's essentially a sponge filter that's a flat sheet, and it's air-driven, and they're pretty cool. I honestly think they're pretty cool. The only downside for me is the aesthetic. Like, I don't really necessarily like the aesthetic necessarily of the Matten filters, but hey, if you got breeding tanks or anything like that, I think that they're awesome, and I would definitely be utilizing those. Now, how I would cycle them, I would get them started and leave the hang-on back filters on there and just let it run like that for like 2 weeks. And then I would just take the hang-on backs off after. You know, it's a bit of a time commitment. Maybe you could get away with 1 week. You know, I would go the super, like cautious route and probably just do it for like 2 weeks. And I would probably just go let them both run for like 2 weeks, and the matin filter itself will just have a bunch of bacteria growing on it by that point in time, and you can just be like, oh, we'll just get rid of the other one, and there we go. So maybe it's a little bit of a time commitment, but as we all know, like fish rooms, 2 weeks is really not that long of a period of time, like considering we're going to have them up and running the rest of our lives. So 2 weeks is a very small period of time as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to have it for years and years and years to come. So that's what I would do. Jared Byer moved fish population from a cycled 20 tank to a new 40 breeder with a CMF. I don't know. I can't think of CMF off the top of my head. Ran both at the same time for a while. Yeah. Yes, that's what I would do. I just run both of them at the same time and let the bacteria populate the new filter. I've used mature media in essentially a 24-hour period cycle. So imagine setting up a brand new tank, hooking up the filtration to it, and moving a bunch of bio rings from a tank that's cycled into the new one. And, one of the things that's really cool about that is that it makes it super easy to... one of the cool things about Stratum or ADA Aquasoil, any of those kinds of aquasoils, is that they do have a little bit of ammonia that leaches out of them for the first month and a half, maybe 2 months. It's not that big of a deal. But that little bit of ammonia does feed your bacteria, so you don't really have to have fish in the tank, and it will just continue to cycle while it's there because the soil is releasing a little bit of ammonia. Oh, and Gerald says corner matin filter. Oh, CMF. Got it. Corner matin filter. Okay, that makes sense. Got it. Scottish Aquatics is asking, did I get a glance at the green jades you posted earlier? Yes, I noticed those. I forgot to comment back. It's been a hectic Monday. It's just another manic Monday. Oh, whoa, that's my fun day. Wait, that's not how that goes. Yeah, whatever. It's a Prince song anyhow. It's way better when he sings it. I don't know how. I can't do that right now. Where's my backup singers? I don't have any. Jeffrey Myers, the $5 super chat, says, I sent a professional email as Turbofish. So, hey, I'm Jeffafa. Gracias for them crypt tips, and Pennywort should just do its thing. I'm confused. Wait, you sent me an email? So you super chatted me to tell me that you sent an email? Wait, what? Hold on. Let me check my mail. Let me check my mail, guys. That's why I like to check my emails when I'm online, talking to 144 people. I don't have an email from Jeff. It's a $5 super chat to tell me that he sent me an email, but I don't have an email from him. What if it went into my spam folder? Oh, no. Junk email? Did it come in from the junk email? I got Jeremy from some advertising place. Oh, that's advertising. That's advertising. No, I don't have anything. No, don't have anything from Jeffrey. I'm confused by your super chat, and so that's how it goes. Speaking of confusing super chats, we've got a super chat from Rumbust himself, Swedish Crones 17.00. Which I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I did figure out what the Swedish Crones are and the numbers that he's coming up with. And I want to say, for somebody to be able to come up with that number on a regular basis and know exactly what's going on, thank you, Rumbus. That is awesome. Thank you, man. And I appreciate it. And if you've never seen Rumbust's little what you call it? Those little avatar. That mustache is. I can't really say what I want to say. Awesome. I'll say awesome because that's PG-13. You could say awesome, I think, right? Like on a teen for the kids. The kids like the word awesome. It's radical, right? That's good. Whoa, let's go over here to scene 3. And, oh, whoops, I don't have control of the video. I have control of the whiteboard. Hold on, here we go. Did it start? It started, like, not at the beginning. It was, like, a couple seconds in. Anyhow, as the Scooby-Doo name of the show on the title track, whatever you want to call it, the title of the live stream show, live show, stream show. The title says we got some new shrimp coming. You're darn right, we've got some new shrimp coming. So we had a little bit of ordering issue. We had a little bit of an ordering issue, which some confusion, some crossed wires, some things like that. But I went ahead and put through the order last night. So we've sent off some monies into the ether, and then shrimps should arrive. Shrimps should arrive on Thursday, and depending on the time when they get here, we might do an unboxing during the show. We might just open the box during the show. I'm not going to open the bags, but we might do we might open the box during the show, or maybe the box comes after. But I was thinking that, like, hey, that might be a thing that might be kind of fun to do on the show. Throw on another camera here, get a top down, open up the box. But that depends on shipping time. I don't know exactly when the box will be here. I don't think anybody ever knows when the box will actually arrive. The Postal Service typically does show up here now. They rerouted our route, so now the post office actually does show up around here around 12:30. So that's all good. That's all good. That would line up with the show. But sometimes UPS shows up later, FedEx shows up later, and I'm not 100% sure what shipping partner they're going to be utilizing. Now, the shrimp that we have in the video right here are Neocardina shrimp. So these are what would be considered fire cherry shrimp. They're the bright red, fully red colored shrimp. They're very, very bright in color. Pretty decent quality at this point in time. We've been just breeding them and letting them breed. Part of the fun of this video is showing you guys the actual what is it called, Yummy Gum, which of course I'm like a terrible host. I should have the link here ready if anybody wants to get Yummy Gum. One of the places you could get Yummy Gum would be from Brian's Fish Tanks. You could get from Brian's Fish Tanks. He's Aquatic Support Systems. The other place would be, if you hold with me for just a second, I can get the link here. I thought I had it, but I guess I don't. But Yummy Gum is sold out at the Aquarium Co-op, so you can't get it anyhow. So I think Aquatic Support Systems would be the one spot that you could spin over and get that. But the cool thing about Yummy Gum, you could get either... you could get like Rapashi, you could get something like that. That's a sticky food. The Yummy Gum is a sticky food, so you can actually stick it to like a rock or something like that and, kind of create a little feeding frenzy in an area. Unfortunately for us, this tank is super... It's full of food. It's 150 gallons. There are a ton of shrimp in here. They don't pile on like they used to. Mainly because of how big this tank is. There's a lot of plants in this tank. It's a pretty big tank, and just adding some food doesn't make them all come out, because a lot of them are just like, yeah, there's still food over here. Why would I care about that food over there? They're all just grazing around and cleaning surfaces and cleaning off leaves and finding little things to eat and stuff like that. So it doesn't create that giant feeding frenzy, but it does bring some shrimp in so we can get a chance to look at them and, of course, do a little bit of time lapse. But the Yummy Gum actually I find to be like a really useful It's a really useful food, just like the Sarah Onip tabs are, for when I'm, if I'm working on a big tank or something like that. I can stick some of those tabs to the glass and keep the fish out of the way while I'm doing stuff. And it definitely keeps them occupied, and it's a good directional feeding thing that you can also, keep your eye on it and see how long it takes them to eat it. Oftentimes, if you add like some pellets in and stuff like that, you won't be able to visually notice if your if your shrimp are still feeding on it, or if there's any leftovers or anything like that. I find the Yummy Gum to be really useful for that part also, to be able to go like, oh man, they're actually eating it all. Let's see. Johan's talking about the design of plumbing. That's something that will always catch my eye out of the periphery here into the chat. So let's see what's going on. Design of the plumbing as a previous owner. It isn't ideal. Is there a simple way to at least make it a bit silent for perfection? I know I have to redesign the plumbing. I did a plumbing video the other day. I wonder if this applies. Let me scroll back up here. I bet you I missed some super chats because I saw some of those go flying by. The overflow I already made silent. I have a question. My new tank is with a sump. It's a 5-chamber sump. The water comes in the first chamber through the bottom. Makes a lot of bubbles and noise. What can I do to the silence? You want to make sure that your siphon isn't pulling air down into the sump if that's the problem. That's a little bit of probably the issue, that you have a lot of air getting pulled down and it's making noise kind of coming back up into the next chamber. You can definitely do that unless you're bringing down air on purpose so you can oxygenate the water. You could always stop the siphon from doing that, and you could just use a little bit of an air pump or something along that, something along those lines. I am actually working on converting a calcium reactor from a reef tank I'm going to make it into just a plain old CO2 reactor that will also have a pH monitor on it, and we can actually keep track of that as the day goes on. But I'm not done with that, so can't tell you much about the Venturi valve and all that. But that is something that you could do if you wanted to oxygenate and go that route, but just want to make sure that you're not pulling down a ton of air. We got a super chat from Jeffrey. Seems like a follow-up. Says he sent his resume out as Turbo. That was fun. Oh, I see. So you sent out your resume as Turbo Fish. Yeah, I don't know anybody that's going to hire a plant manager that's named Turbo Fish. I don't know. Like, Jeffrey Myers seems like... Yeah. Yeah, I think... I don't know if anybody would hire a plant manager named Turbofish. Jeffrey Myers seems like a better name for a plant manager, right? MTA, Mr. Multi-Tank Addiction is here. Just wanted to say hi. Well, thanks for the super chat. Good to see you, Chris. Can't wait to get down to Oregon. I got to get down to Oregon sometime, but time is of the essence now. I'm done running out of time these days, so it's gonna have to figure out how to get down to Oregon. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'll figure it out one way or another. Devin Peppers is wondering, do I have another tank? Yeah, I do. I have other tanks for sure. Or maybe you're talking to somebody else. I don't know. I read it in the chat. I'm not trying to sound like a jerk. I just ate a sandwich. I'm kind of falling asleep, guys. Let's see here. T. Riddle says, I thought about the issues with I have a small surface skimmer and afraid they might get sucked up. Ooh, what's going on here? Scottish Aquatics. Hey, Joel, any chance you will be up this way anytime soon? Looking to get some rare stuff, maybe some stuff you are breeding. What am I breeding? Right now, I'm breeding cherry shrimp. That's pretty much it. I'm pretty much breeding cherry shrimp. Oh, the super red bristlenose placos. Breeding those. Then, I don't think there's anything else. Mainly just growing plants and stuff. That's kind of my main thing, is growing plants. I love keeping fish. I'm not a huge fish breeder, but I do have I have some new shrimp coming in this Wednesday. Got some shadow pandas and things like that. We'll go in depth about those once they're in. But the shadow pandas are the main shrimp that I'm going for. That should be coming in. Those are essentially, they're mostly black, like King Kongs, and then the highlights on them show up blue. So instead of being black and white crystal shrimp, they're basically black with blue crystal shrimp. So they're pretty darn cool, pretty rare. We shall see how it goes breeding them. Hopefully I can keep it together and get them breeding pretty well. We'll see how it goes, but it's all a crapshoot sometimes with pretty rare stuff like that. I honestly hope to get my crystal shrimp back up on track and get them going again, because they for a long period of time, that was my honestly, that was the thing that I could lean on and just go, all right, everything's all right. My crystal shrimp are doing really good. I might be having problems everywhere else, but I did kind of lean on those as kind of an affirmation of that things were going well. It's like, okay, I've got a ton of crystal shrimp. Things are going all right. So they should be, I have high hopes. I don't want to get my hopes too high. I don't want to have like some kind of crazy expectations, but I do have fairly high hopes at this point that everything will go well, and I will continue. They'll breed. They'll do well. I'll probably lose some right out the gate because they are kind of a difficult shrimp to transition and get, from shipping and all that kind of stuff. So we shall see how it goes. I really do hope to be at a point where I can distribute some out to other people, some other local hobbyists that have tanks set up for them and stuff like that. Speaking of having a tank set up for them, what tank are they going to go into? They're going to actually go into the new 120 as one of the guys I am purchasing the shrimp from was like, man, I thought you just set up that 120. And I'm like, yeah, I set up that 120 2 months ago. I set it up over 2 months ago. I've had it cycled. I'm growing plants in it. It's a fully cycled tank. I've been doing, water changes on it, all that kind of stuff to get it locked in and ready to go. And, I was like, I've hit the 2 month mark. It's not a super mature tank, but I definitely let it go that whole period to get it stable. Make sure that nothing weird was going to happen. I don't recommend setting up a tank without giving it that amount of time to, make sure that all the kinks are worked out and things are going well in the tank and it's what you want. And the water quality is what you're looking for. The parameters are what you're looking for. It's nice and stable. So that 120 is nice and stable. It's doing all those things that we want. And happy to say I just went ahead and, I'm going to order these shrimp and get them sent out. Actually, who is the company? So, okay, a little bit confusing, but the company is Crown Blue is where I'm getting them from. And, it's, hold on a second. It's basically the company that Eric utilizes to get shrimp shipped out and stuff like that. They're basically the shipping guys and the care and all that kind of stuff. Like they're taking care of the shrimp and shipping them out and stuff. And so I talked to Eric about ordering some shrimp from there. Once I get them in, I'll be able to, if you guys are wanting to order some, I'll have a discount code for you guys. I don't have any affiliation with this company. Like I said, I talked to Eric to let him know what was going on and ordered them up, paid my money, all that kind of stuff. And I will have a discount code for you guys that doesn't, I have no like affiliate account with them or anything like that. It'll just be straight up like if you guys want some money off, it'll be there for you. Also, I'll have those codes and that kind of stuff for you. So that's kind of the cool part as far as if you guys wanted to get in on ordering some shrimp or something like that. It's not something I get. It's not something I get paid for. So Multi-Tank Addiction is asking, what are those pink flower-looking plants on the bottom? Those are actually cryptocrine pink flamingo. Those are the pink flamingo crypts that a lot of people have been hearing about. And no, I haven't made a video about them yet. And honestly, I haven't had enough. Active actual experience with the pink flamingos yet to make a video of them yet. And I think people are kind of surprised by that when I mention it. Is that when I mention things like this, I think people are kind of surprised that I'm like, I want to spend at least a couple of months, at least a couple of different tanks with a plant before I make a video about it. To be able to give you guys an actual interpretation of my experience, and not just spout a bunch of numbers off of, spout a bunch of numbers to you guys and be like, well, this is the pH, so that's what it says, and blah, blah, blah. So I haven't really had them long enough yet to give a real good impression of what, but let me show you something here, though. Let me turn my arrow back on. I don't know if you guys were here on Friday, but we learned how to do the arrow. Here we go. Boo. This plant right here. Can I rotate this? I forget how I rotated it. There was a way. If there's a will. If there's a will, there's a way. Oh, that rotates on that axis. That axis. So we need the Z, right? Oh, yeah, look at that. All right. So this plant right here, and then I'll move it over. There's the baby right there. I think that arrow's a little too close for you guys to see, but I know that it's right up next to the edge of the video. But here's the one, that plant right there. That is the plant that I will be doing a video about fairly soon. That is a different type of crypt. That's a cryptocrine nuri bronze. Really cool plant. Very excited about it. And one of the big reasons I can tell you I'm very excited about it is because of this one right over here. That is a baby to the mother. That's the mother. That's the baby. And we're talking about plants here right now. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about baby plants. We got the mother plants. We got the baby plants. We got the mother plants and the baby plants. You know what I'm talking about? Very exciting and very cool. Screedmore says 3D to rotate. Yes. So I'm very excited about that plant right there. I actually got the little mother from Bentley. I've had it for quite a while now. I'm super stoked that it has sent out a baby. Start to propagate these and get them going, because this is not a plant that you can really find anywhere. I found them online, and typically whenever I find them online, they're like $29.99 for a small pot. And like, if you even like try to check out, like you put it in your cart and try and check out, that's when it'll normally tell you like, oh, never mind, it's not in stock, which is sort of irritating. It's like 100% irritating, but hold on a second. Let's get this thing moving again. There we go. We got the video moving again. Hold on. Oops, I turned off the main camera. There we go. Anyhow, we'll get the video moving again. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to turn the arrow off, but I turned off the camera. But that's normally one of the big issues with a rare plant like that. Like, oftentimes you'll find people that actually have them listed like on their website or something like that, and you're like, oh, cool, let me go ahead and get one. And then the big problem turns out to be that, like, oh, it doesn't auto-populate on the website to let people know that they've run out of that plant. You have to wait until it's in your shopping cart and you try to check out. Like, man, that almost feels like one of those things that a programmer could figure that out pretty easily, but I guess it's not. I've talked to people about it, and they're like, no, that's super hard to do to get the actual account updated, but, Ooh. Dan Squire says, I'm stealing loads of those shrimp soon. She has too many. What? Who has too many shrimps? Weird. Let's see. Jason R. says, I've ordered plants from Aquarium Co-op, Flip Aquatics, and LR Brett's, and aside from some melting and some stems from the coop disintegrating, all is well. Sometimes plants will melt when you get them in the mail. It does happen from time to time. I've never ordered anything from... I've definitely never ordered any plants from Flip Aquatics. I've looked at LR Brett's stuff in person, and a lot of his stuff is pretty darn nice, honestly. I like Lucas a lot. Very cool dude. And but I've never ordered anything from him and had it like show up at my house or anything like that. So I've never ordered anything from him. And to know what their shipping is like or any of that kind of stuff. I do know that Aquarium Co-op's shipping is really nice. I've gone through like how they actually ship their stuff, and they do a really good job. It's really quick turnaround and that kind of stuff. So, but I've never ordered anything from Flip. So, and a question for you plant guys: what plants would you use if you wanted to make a decent aquascape, low-tech, highlight shrimp tank? My light would be a Fluval Nano with no CO2. A low-tech tank? You just want something to carpet. Low-tech tank, you want just a carpet. That's pretty much it, you know. So that's what... if I was going to do a low-tech tank... let's say you want to consider it being a low-tech tank because you don't want to add CO2 to it, right? Just bear in mind that you're going to have to add fertilizers at that point. You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to do something for your plants. It's just, that's the way it goes. You know, the one of the big ways that people get around, not adding CO2 or fertilizers or that kind of stuff is they do the Wallstead method and they buy some, organic potting soil from Home Depot or whatever, throw it in there. The reason that works is because there's a ton of crazy fertilizer in, the organic potting soil that they use, and then they put gravel on top of it. One of the big issues is that long term, it's not a good strategy. It's not a good strategy for topsoil to be underwater. It just doesn't work that well. You're talking about topsoil, that's organic material that's not like fully broken down yet. It would be like just getting some compost and throwing it in your aquarium and being like, yeah, there's fertilizers in there. Check it out. Threw some compost in there, bro. Like, yeah, well, it's out of control. It's ridiculous. Like, you don't even know what you put in there. One of the big reasons I recommend people to use products like Easy Green or Thrive or, even the Seachem fertilizer, stuff like that, is at least you have a good idea that, A, it's fish safe, probably not going to kill your fish. Easy Green and Thrive and stuff like that, it's not going to kill your shrimp. So that's one of the big reasons I recommend people to use those products is that you'll get a good idea of what's in it, first of all. So, how much per whatever milliliter, right? Also, on top of it, it's been tested so it's not going to kill things or grow crazy fungus or crazy gases or, any of that kind of stuff that you can get from that whole type of deal is going to be problematic. Jesse DeShield says, what is your favorite long-term aquarium soil? My favorite long-term aquarium soil would... Like, if I was just going to set something up and I never wanted to mess with it ever again, actually, I posted this pumice link the other day. So what I would do, if I was going to set up a tank and, was just not going to mess with it ever, I would probably do... Hold on. Where did that pumice link? Mr. Dirt Farmer, I think, is what it was. Mr. Dirt. Where did it go? I thought it was Mr. Dirt Farmer or something like that. Hold on. How did I look that up? Aquaponic pumice. So if I really, really, really wanted something to be super long term, what? How did I find this the other day and now I can't find it right now? All right, now you're about to meet my rage. About to meet my rage. Hydroponics. I hate this keyboard. Oh, lordy. Where did it... I don't know. I guess I can't find it on... I guess I can't find it on Amazon anymore. Let me see. Why can't I find it? I found it the other day. Maybe somebody bought it all, and then they stopped selling it forever. Maybe that's the deal. Anyhow, what the Oh, we might be on the... Yeah, I don't know, man. I posted it on Friday into the chat, and now it was super easy to find last week, and now it's impossible to find. You's about to get my rage. Let me see here. We gotta... I guess we have to kind of scroll through here for a minute. But anyhow, basically what you'd want to be finding is a really solid, nice aquaponics pumice is what I would get. And then I would combine that with laterite. I would definitely combine that with laterite if I was going super long term and didn't want anything to do with it. And I wasn't adding any fertilizer or anything like that. That's what I would do long term. Oh, here we go. Here's a... This isn't necessarily... I'm not saying order this, but here's an idea. This isn't necessarily a good idea, a good deal or anything like that, but here's an idea of what pumice I'm talking about. It's it's basically the pumice that's been tumbled, sifted, and cleaned ahead of time. And that's probably what I would go with for a really, really long-term, don't mess with it kind of substrate, allow it to go for a really long period. And I would combine it with a laterite clay. Fluorite red is... So, okay, hold on. Let me get a link for you, and then you can click on this too. I didn't copy it. I went go to copy. Control V. Control V. Enter. All right, there we go. So, fluorite red is a laterite, though I would probably go source some out to get... Basically, I'd want to get a larger amount of it. So I would probably go to the rock yard or something like that. You can even find black laterite, gray laterite. Turface is a pretty good one. Let me see if I can find... Excuse me. I ate right before the show, and I'm like, fighting it back. Burp, burp. There we go. So turface right here. What color is this? This looks like it's... Let me see. Yeah, actually, this is the right stuff. You might be able to look through and find some other color if you were looking for a different color. But there's some turface right there. Actually, does work really, really, really long term. If it was something that I just never wanted to mess with, never do anything with it, just set it up, let it go, and just not be mussing around with it, leave it for a really long time. I would put that and mix it in with the pumice and go that route, because it does work for a really long term substrate in an aquarium for a planet tank. Now, if I wanted a long term substrate for a non-planet tank, like a fish only system, I would just get some pea-sized gravel and throw that in there. just some river gravel, and go that route. Because there's really no other better substrate if you just wanted to do a fish only tank that was long term, because you could always gravel vac it and clean it really well. You can even take it out of the aquarium and like go crazy with it with a pressure washer and completely clean it off. You could boil it, and well, maybe not boil it, but you could clean it off. You can bleach it if you want. So that stuff really does last a really long time. If I was just doing a fish only tank and I wanted some kind of substrate in there to have a bottom to the tank, basically. Scarlet Aquatics just popped in to smash the like, doing some water changes tonight. Hope everyone is having a great day. Well, thanks for stopping in. We appreciate the like smashing, Is that a thing? Smashing? Came in to smash buttons. I don't know. That probably just triggered the algorithm. We probably just got demonetized for the rest of the day. Start talking about smashing things. Anyhow, just had the idea of using Yummy Gum and ONIP tabs to draw out fish, shrimp, to net them out. Yes, that actually is another beneficial way to go. It's definitely a beneficial way to go as far as netting things out, capturing things. The Yummy Gum actually is pretty useful. You can put it on the inside of like a medicine bottle. You can like stick it to the lid, drill some tiny holes in the bottom of the medicine bottle. Then you could drop that whole unit. You have to get the air out of it, obviously, so it'll sink. You could put a rock in it or something if you want a little added bit. But you can put the Yummy Gum on the inside of the top of the medicine bottle, right? Cut some really fine holes in the bottom of it. Put a rock in there. Drop it in your tank, and you can catch like planaria and stuff like that. It's a way to get rid of them. T. Riddle is wondering, is Flip a good place to order shrimps? You want some more cherry shrimp? That's a question. That really is a question. I don't know. I've never ordered shrimp from Flip Aquatics. I like Rob. I like Ohio. He's in Ohio. I've never ordered anything from him. And I've gotten 100% mixed reviews from people that have ordered stuff from him. So I can't give you a personal account of getting an order from him, because I never have. I never have gotten anything from him. So, it is what it is. I can't tell you yay or nay. But and one of the reasons I couldn't tell you yay or nay, because the people I trust, I've gotten both sides of the spectrum as far as like reviews and stuff go. But I think it's worth a shot. I think it's worth a shot. Like if you don't have anyone local around you, so that's kind of what I would go for. Bracken's asking, how do you like the Pogostemon erectus? I like it. I made a video about it. This is a whole standalone Pogostemon erectus video on my channel now. So I think that goes to show I kind of like it. Kind of like it. Quinn Mallory is asking, I have a sump with a one corner seam split from the top down, about 1/3 of the way down from an accident. How would you repair it? Is it glass? Is it acrylic? It'd be hard for me to tell you like how to repair it, because I haven't seen the damage. Probably, you got to get out your power tools and go crazy, I guess, Alana has a good point. I think it depends on if you prefer hobby tank raised or import shrimp better. I would. The first option I would go to is to find somebody local. One of the reasons I ordered my shrimp in is that I don't know anybody local that actually has the shrimp that I want. So I literally had to go to, some of the guys that won some of the shrimp competitions at Aquatic Experience, some of the other shrimp competitions and stuff like that. I'm unable to import shrimp right now. Otherwise, I would recommend Nico out in France. He's definitely one of the best shrimp breeders in the world, but I don't know that I can order any live critters from France and actually have them come into the U.S. Now, I'm not 100% sure of that. I might be able to just order him. I think maybe I'll bug him, but I think he's doing another like, what do you call that thing? Like a convention type thing this week? I don't know. Maybe I'll bug him and see if that's something that he can do or not, but I really don't know. Imperial Tropicals sells great shrimp. Nice. Okay, looks like most of the comments here are about Flip, so I don't know. No. Let's see. All right. Well, looks like chat has turned into whether or not people think you should order shrimp or not. Like I said, if you can get local, that's the best place. If it comes to plants, fish, friggin' substrate, shrimp, lights, doesn't really matter. Whatever it comes down to is if you can get local, that's the best place. You know, if it's something that you can get locally for a good price, local stuff is going to be the best. You know, even if you're talking about cichlids, if you're talking about saltwater fish, if you're talking about, freshwater shrimp, plants, any of that kind of stuff, you want to get local if you can, because they've been raised in basically the same water that you're using and the same parameters. And they're going to be a lot healthier if they're aquacultured, which means they've been born and raised and lived their life in a tank. So that's going to be what you're going to want to go for. You want to go for local for sure before you go to order them in. I don't know anybody who has the shrimp that I want, and I couldn't find anybody locally. Simon Shaw says, hi, what are the pink plants close to the substrate in that tank? Those pink plants down there are the Cryptocrine pink flamingo, which is actually a variant of the Wendellii crypts. So the Wendellii crypt is a pretty easy one. This one just happens to be a variant that ended up growing super pink. It's brought to you by Stefan Hummel and Dennerle. Stefan Hummel's the guy that figured it out. He started growing it, started culturing it. Replication and reproducing it has been an issue for a really long time. And it still ain't easy. So it's almost not even the price. It's just the availability almost. It's almost always just the availability of things that are rare. You know, if you think about it, a really rare plant will sell for $50, say, right? Realistically, if that's a plant that you really want, you could probably come up with $50, you know? So, it's just a matter of like, well, where do I get it from? It's like, oh, well, no one has it. You know what I mean? So, whenever I see something that I don't really know or have or anything like that, or have grown or anything like that, I'll normally just buy it if I see it somewhere. I'll just use the credit card if I don't have the money because of that reason. It's normally just availability because, like I said, even a really expensive plant is $50, right? And so it just comes down to availability. So I recommend to anybody, you see a plant that you never seen before, and at least you have an idea of what it is and what parameters it needs and that kind of stuff. I just go for it. Worst case scenario, you kill the plant, which is not great. It's not great if you just kill the plants, right? But, it's not like killing a fish or something like that where you're super heartbroken. It just kind of sucks. Alana Suki's saying, I have 2 pink flamingo, but I think I broke them. They're not very pink in my tanks. Dan Squire says iron. Swift Aquarium says maybe it's low iron. Yeah, I use the Easy Iron now from Aquarium Co-op. I use that, once a week, something like that, and it's definitely helping out for sure. All right, guys, we're coming up on the end of the show. Because it's been a while, and I need to get back and help the sitter and help out with my baby and get to my baby and see what my baby's doing. Then I got to record some more stuff and do some more edits, intros and outros and that kind of stuff, and get things sorted out for the day. Want to give a big shout out, thank you very mucho, to Multi-Tank Addiction, Jeffrey Myers, Gerald Wallace, and Rumbus for your guys' super chats today. As you guys know, it goes right back into producing content and stuff like that, like the shrimp, like being able to order the shrimp. That's thanks to you guys, especially all the people over on Patreon. If people don't know what the Patreon page is, give it a shot. Go over there, check it out. Like maybe you don't want a super chat. Maybe you're somebody that's like, I don't want a super chat. I don't want to give YouTube my money. Cool, I understand. That's where the Patreon comes in. People can hop on there. You can become a Patreon patronizer, a patron of Patreon, right? You can sponsor the show for as little as $1 a month. It comes out once at the beginning of every month, and so which is pretty simple to keep track of. You just imagine this: you could watch, basically as an individual person, like you could watch all my videos on my channel here, and I've gotten over 900 of them. You can watch all of them, back to back to back or whatever, which would probably add up to less than $1. You know what I'm saying? So you could watch all the videos and try and lose your mind, or you could be somebody who's like, hey, I see you got a big catalog there. I'm going to watch the ones that I want to watch, and I want to, be somebody who's $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever you want. And you could do a one-time thing. You could go on there, you could Patreon for $10 and then be like, I'm going to turn it off now because I don't want to pay anymore. You can do that on Patreon now. You just make it so that you just pay right away. It just automatically charges you now, whatever your pledge is, right? So if you think about it, it's sort of the same format as like NPR, like National Public Radio, right? Is that viewers and subscribers and stuff like you like help to contribute to be able to do this kind of stuff and be able to do this show and keep things going. As mentioned in the chat there, we have the Amazon links and stuff if you're going to go buy sausages and fingernail clippers and whatever the hell it is you guys buy on Amazon. It doesn't matter. If you go through the Amazon portal, it just gives us credit and you go there and buy something. And yes, you probably have to do it fairly often because if you accidentally click on an ad, they know you accidentally clicked on it, and some dirtbag out there is going to get credit for having Amazoned you, So there's that. Then the last and final thing would be that our main sponsor as far as the business goes is the Aquarium Co-op. If you've never been to the Aquarium Co-op, you've been living under a rock, wherever the hell you are, there's a link to it right there. They're our affiliate sponsor, which basically means if you go there and buy stuff, Corey gives me a kickback. I don't recommend any of the stuff at Aquarium Co-op that I don't use myself. They have a bunch of good products there, a bunch of good people working there and stuff like that. That's why I'm down to support them. That's why I'm down to recommend some of the products to you, like Easy Green or Easy Iron, Fluval Lights, that kind of stuff. Those are things I use on a regular basis, so I feel like it's a win-win, And you don't actually have to patronize or anything like that. You can just go buy crap that you were going to normally buy, like Treat Mix from Sarah, right? So that kind of stuff, and basically just just kind of a thing. Yeah. All right, guys. Love you very much. Have a fantastic Monday. Don't go totally crazy tonight and light off fireworks or anything crazy like that. And I'll talk to you all later.